not going to be able to find, and they're not going to be able to legally process out of the country. And some of them will be decent people. You need to convince them you don't have to vote Democrat fascist in order to receive your benefits. And maybe we need to discontinue your benefits. And if you can't find a job and you didn't get here legally, we're going to have to deport you because we don't want you to be a homeless, unvetted migrant. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am alarmed. I talk to good people. I say, hey, St. Louis, hey, tell me about St. Louis. Do you have some tent cities? Oh, of course. We got several hundred. In Pittsburgh, where my sister lived, yeah, we have some tent cities, Jim. It's more than a couple of hundred. I talked to Los Angeles people, and they mentioned it's several thousand.
Yeah.
They said, we did a drive. This is one particular consult client. They did a drive along a 30-mile stretch to get to a little place where they had a meeting with somebody on a different business matter, and they went by about 7 or 8 tent cities that are in open fields with thousands of people. Thousands.
God dang.
In each one. Okay, these are people in California. Will they be voting? Are they American homeless, or are they migrant homeless? They're making these little tent cities into needle parks. That's my little phrase.
I got you.
When I was younger, we called them needle parks because they were just locations where you can go buy drugs and get a needle and discard the needle and throw it over in the trash can. And if you miss, you got 3 or 4 needles on the sidewalk, and people know what you're all about. Okay, we're turning our American cities into an urban decay, and it's going to get worse. In just the last month, we have about 3, 4, 5 different major stories about migrant violence. By the time we get to October, I think it's going to be triple that. I do not think they're going to have adequate disruption for civil disorder turning into war. But I am concerned that it's going to get ugly and uncomfortable for people. I have a couple of San Francisco clients who said, Jim, I know people, I know a couple of mothers, and they just will not walk outside after 3 p.m. They will not walk outside. They're staying at home because of migrants and homeless and defunding the police. What the hell is that all about? Well, that's part of the Marxist policy. Here's one thing I'm not concerned about. It's the threat of a pandemic. They have found the source of the monkey virus, the monkeypox. They found it. It was in a creature, very unusual creature. It's about 3 feet high, 2.5 feet high. It has the body of a monkey, and it has the face of Bill Gates. I've got a picture of it in my August report. It's an amazing picture. Looks just like Bill Gates. I don't think we're going to see an epidemic. I don't think they're going to be able to justify mail-in ballots. I don't think they're going to be able to have a lot of photocopied by the thousands mail-in ballots. I don't think the Dem fascists are going to be able to have tens of thousands of dead people vote. I don't think the Dem fascists are going to be able to have more recorded votes than citizens in the county, not registered voters, citizens in the county. And I believe these election officials are going to be watched like hawks, and many of them are going to be arrested, Lord Hemke. That's what I think is what's coming. And I don't think the mail-in strategy is going to work. I think we're going to see red hat activity, confiscating and robbing the drop boxes. I expect some of them are going to be torched.
Well, and I would think after last time, when people still had some belief and faith, in the integrity of the system.
Not anymore.
Right. So there will be, citizen journalists, if you will. Everyone's going to have their TV on. Everybody's going to be recording, so it won't just be one video that, some guy took at 1 o'clock in the morning, with the 12,000 up, 12,000 down. There'll be millions of people doing that this time. Don't you worry though, Jim? I mean, they already, like you said, there's 1 or 2 attempts at Trump already with his intention to blow out all those people within the, we'll call it the deep state at FBI or the Department of Justice or Department of State. I just can't. I mean, they're not going to just. They've already tried twice. According to the second one, aren't they
I
going to?
think they'll try again, and I think they'll fail. Remember that there's a God factor here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have.
I mean, it certainly looked that way back on July, whatever that was.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about a higher level. I'm talking about our nation is now in a very big battle of Satan versus God. And the Democrats are not democratic. The Dem fascists are the satanic element. They're the satanic contingency for the political coup. Very few people understand in the liberal retard community that they have an unholy alliance of Satanists, communists, and narcos. Now that's a really ugly trio. And that's what's running the Democrat Party that doesn't have any semblance to a democratic type of loyalty. They think we cannot have Trump. He'll destroy the nation. Therefore, all the fraud that we do is really justified. Well, so's a rope around your neck. And that's what we want to do to these people. I heard that they are overloaded with prisoners and they can't do the tribunal. So they're just putting their tribunal on hold and shipping out thousands of people, probably to Greenland.
Who's running those deals? Jim, you mention that often. Who are the they that are actually,
U.S. Marine.
Okay.
JAG, Judge Advocate General. A lot of people don't even know what JAG is because they really don't know much of anything except what they read and hear on the New York Times and the MSM News, because they're absolute morons. They're brainwashed. And my old college roommate, Bruce, he was among them. He's dead now. His wife, Julie, is another moron. She's a good woman and she's smart. These people are brainwashed. They don't have any idea what's going on in reality. Yeah. They don't understand what's happening. And it's really quite sad. If I had my way, they want to put the Republican conservative patriots into re-education camps. Well, they're the ones who need to get the re-education. We're advocating fair systems, democratic rule, free speech. What's crazy about that? What's radical about that?
Right.
They advocate the opposite. They advocate, sanctioning election fraud. They're the ones who need the re-education. I mean, I like to put them through med beds and wipe their brains clean. Start over.
You get one of those Men in Black red light flash things.
I gotta say something in my closing remarks here. I've been contacted by an agent of the global funds, and they are real. And one level higher than this person has already begun to get funded. Proof of funds is a done deal. It's a staggering amount of money. I don't want to talk about it too much here. It's in the trillions. The proof of funds is done. The distribution, one level higher than this particular agent. I was going to say angel. Yeah, it's an angel. Yep. It's for humanitarian initiatives on a widespread, global, very diverse and very deep level. Med beds are real. This person has actually seen them used. This person has a medical background. There's a conversation that we have every 2 or 3 weeks. I'm welcome. I mean, I welcome such a discourse, but the funds have begun to get distributed, and we're talking about a lot of billions. And in the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've begun to be distributed. We're talking Gesera. I know there's been a lot of rebuking and mockery and disbelief. I've had a little bit of doubt. I had a comment. I said, is it not the case that the distribution of funds, tell me, I am hearing that the distribution of the funds depends on the eradication, elimination, and putting into the ground the Geneva fascist New World Order clan. And I was told it's largely done. It's not completely done. They don't expect it ever to be completely done. So they've begun distributing the funds and making deals with these people to get the hell out of the way. So the med beds are in construction. I'm told that maybe over 100,000 are being built per year, and it could be closer to 1 million med beds per year. It's Trump and a group of billionaires, and they're going to be a minimum or a free charge. Like the poor, it'll be free.
What is it? A med bed?
What is a med bed?
Yeah.
It is a usage of light and wave frequencies for realigning the genetic structure. And this person has seen diseases cured. Cancer is really a disease. The immune system just allowing the growth of blobs, cysts and tumors. They go out of control and they overtake an organ. Before you know it, it moves around. You got a lot of organs. Okay, it's a sickness. It's a disease. This person has seen several different types of diseases cured instantly, and is aware that the next type, there's 3 types, but a different type is being used for organ regeneration and for memory wiping. I was told this is real, Jim. They're using it for the children released from the tunnels, and they're using it on not warriors, what do you call it? Soldiers who are wounded in the underground war. Most Americans don't even believe there's an underground network, when there's probably 1 million miles in the global network that's going across oceans, across continents, to each pole. And I heard Robert David Steele is under the North Pole.
Who? What? Who's Robert David Steele? I'm sorry. We're probably opening a whole new chapter, and we're past.
I know. Robert David Steele is an author of child trafficking books. Former Langley field officer. I did 3 interviews on the Robert David Steele show. He made a nice donation to my cause, my business, my mission. He was supposedly died about 2 years ago, but I don't think so. Kamala Harris is a closet Marxist, card-carrying communist.
Yeah, I think that's pretty apparent.
Well,
her parents and everything else.
Well,
and
who's her running mate?
Right. Well, yeah.
Waltz's brother is now coming out, denigrating his brother, the governor, who told the police to stand down and allow the Antifa and burn, loot, and murder, BLM, burn, loot, and, I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Whatever.
Burn, loot, murder. Okay, and there was as Catherine Austin Fitz pointed out, there was a pattern and a line for the destroyed properties in Minneapolis, bought up for 10 cents on the dollar by Fannie Mae thugs. Okay, and Minnesota has over 10,000 Somalis, and
more than that.
I'm okay. I don't know the exact number. It's hard to get numbers for these demographics.
Yeah,
but I think Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, wants to have a dispensing machine in the high schools and grade schools for horse cum.
What? Sorry,
well, he drank a gallon of horse semen.
God, okay, now I know that. Hold on, stop.
Well, if it's good for the governor, it must be good for the student body. It must be good for
everybody. Right, okay. All right,
well, let's get with the program here. This is the liberal Marxist communist program.
All right.
And he also has a requirement that in order to teach in the schools in Minnesota, you got to sign a Marxist pledge and a transgender LGBTQ contract, a pledge. So there's a lot of resignations. Okay, this is what communism in America will look like. So we need to stop it. I am most focused on the mail-in ballot concept. I only had one in my life. It was 1972. I was a senior in college. I was a Pennsylvania register, and I was in an Ohio university. And I only did one. Okay, well, they've abused it, and they needed an epidemic in order to enable it.
Right.
Well, they're not going to get the monkeypox. They're not going to get that. It's not going to happen. They've already trapped the monkey, and it's a crossbreed with the head of Bill Gates on it.
All right, Jim, we got to wrap up.
Okay.
Sorry, but I got to go, man.
People are not going to sign up for this vaccine,
right?
Because they have friends, family, colleagues, and neighbors who are dead. And
they've learned from the first one.
That's what this 4 years is all about.
All right. So Jim,
demonstration, golden-jackass.com. Go on the site, sign up, do the newsletter subscription, do a consult, make a donation that's no longer PayPal. And if you're wealthy, do a sponsor button. And this is as much a truth mission as it is a Christian mission. We're in a battle for control of the globe, to remove the Satanists and to install Christians. And believe it or not, the Russians are the main Christian entity. Okay, you ready? Good to hear your voice, Lord Hemke. And I'm very energized about the success coming in November. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, it's all going to shit. I can't take it anymore." Yep, it's going to shit, so that the liberal retards wake up and recognize communism for what it is. If we're allowed to do this again in after Thanksgiving or around Christmas time or whatever, and what I mean by that is if the internet still works and if X is Halloween, we got Halloween, we can do Halloween. Yeah, that's not a 3-day weekend. Anyway, don't wait. You don't have to wait. Just go to golden-jackass.com and sign up and get more of Jim Willie on a regular basis. All right, Jim, we've exceeded our midweek conversation time about 2.5 times, so we got to go. Okay, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Go to the golden-jackass website and take part. And thank you. Part. That's right. All right, thank you, Jim. And we'll do this again soon. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll be